Hi everyone, I'm here with Mike Kingston, the writer of Headlocked. How are you doing today, sir?
Doing very good, thank you.
How are you enjoying Supercon today?
Supercon has been fantastic. It's always my favorite convention of the year.
Can you tell us a little bit about your comic Headlocked?
Yes, Headlocked is about a kid who's a theater major in college, and he falls in love with wrestling kind of unexpectedly, more for the performance art than anything.
Yeah.
And he decides that he wants to become a wrestler, and he quits school, and it's sort of his journey, like starting out as a fan and like trying to work his way through the business. So we're sort of examining the craft of wrestling through the eyes of a performance artist, but at the same time, sort of navigating the seedy underbelly of the business. So, it kind of feels like if HBO had like a wrestling show, it would be something like that. So
is this the first issue to come out?
we have one full trade paperback called Headlocked: A Single Step, which sort of details him sort of making his decision to, chase this dream and trying to get a tryout in a wrestling school. And then our next book is actually going to be out in about 2 weeks. It's called Headlocked: The Last Territory.
Okay.
And it's sort of a little bit further in the future from where we left him at the end of A Single Step, and sort of everything is all going to hell. And as he sort of put him in this new environment, we kind of figure out what put him there.
So what exactly inspired you to write this book?
Well, I've been a wrestling fan my whole life, and anybody who's been a wrestling fan ends up having to defend it to people because it's a very polarizing thing. So ultimately, I think by making my main character a theater major, and as he learns the sort of craft of wrestling, we're sort of examining the performance art of wrestling, and we use wrestlers in the book as artists, to contribute art to the book. And that's sort of the theme. Like, I guess when it's all said and done, I'd like it to be sort of my defense of, why I love wrestling and what it does, why it inspires me and why it inspires so many other people.
So have you ever tried wrestling yourself?
When I decided I was going to write the book, I took I trained for a couple of days with some guys. I took a few bumps, and it was not fun. I mean, I played football for 15 years, and I never got hurt. And I did that for like 2 days, and I couldn't turn my head to the left for a week. So
Ooh, that's bad.
it's no joke,
No.
what these guys do.
So I guess they're a real inspiration to you because of the art that they do and taking bumps and being able to take that pain and still be able to perform.
I mean, I think that's impressive. I mean, how much are they willing to give for their art and to entertain? And I mean, the toll it takes on a lot of these guys is very, very profound. And some of that is what I talk about in the book. And like they covered some of that in the movie The Wrestler, but it was all very depressing. And I guess in some level, I think that it's a little more romantic. I mean, these guys are out there entertaining, and all of these guys have like, the soul of a storyteller, soul of an artist. Like even the carniest dude that you can think of, like they don't even realize it, but they have it. And if you get talking to them and you can get them to open up a little bit, it's all there. And I think that's fantastic. I just don't think that people see that sort of side of wrestling.
Who is your favorite wrestler?
I mean, I have a lot of favorite wrestlers. These days, I mean, as a kid growing up, Jerry Lawler was one of my favorite wrestlers, and so I get to work with him now on the book. He does the covers to my book. He's also an artist, and that's something like that is really cool for me. It's very like I don't know, childhood dream kind of thing. You never think you're going to be working one day with your idol, and they always tell you not to meet your heroes or whatever, but like he totally lives up to anything I ever expected that he was going to be as a human. He's just a fantastic person, and so it's been extremely gratifying on a number of levels.
Is there a favorite era that you had in wrestling? A lot of people say Attitude Era.
No, you know what though? It's an art form, and I mean, I love all kinds of wrestling, and some, people a lot of times they just think of WWE as like the only kind of wrestling, but I mean, there's wrestling in Japan, and there's wrestling in England, and there's wrestling in Mexico, and it's all different, and it's all great. I mean, I'll watch two guys in a high school gym in their first match. There's something that you can get out of any of it. Like I do think that wrestling is something that should be seen live so much more than on TV. It's just a different thing. It's like jazz music, like I love jazz music, but you hear it in an elevator and it's just elevator music, but if you see it live, it's amazing. And wrestling is 100 times more impactful and more immersive live.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Mike. I really appreciate you sharing everything with us. I hope to see you again and enjoy the Supercon, okay?
Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you so much.